Alright everyone, welcome back to another Game Vault video. As always, I'm Captain Beefy with the Game Vault, and we're going to talk about what occurred just this past weekend when the kid made an attempt on our former president, Donald J. Trump's life. So let's cue the music and we'll get right to it. Alright, so of course, people on the left are the most deplorable human beings in the world. They really are a disgusting lot. They celebrate... They're like ghouls. I don't know. I don't even know how to describe them anymore. There's nothing that you could say about them that is vile enough to describe them accurately. All you can do is look at what they say and what they do, and you'll understand. And the way they justify it is what really makes it creepy. You know, these are sick people. They belong in mental institutions, not out on the streets. You closed down the mental institutions back in, God, what was it, the 80s or somewhere around there, I think. One of the worst things we ever did in this country. I know they were bad. I know people were getting tortured and abused in them and all that. Not all of them, I imagine, but, you know, I mean, it is, at this point, it is what it is. At least they weren't on the streets making life miserable for everybody else and voting and, you know, being, getting into gaming industry. It seems like that's where they gravitated to. But yeah, let's look at two articles today real quick. Kotaku senior editor Alyssa Mercante mocks attempted assassination of President Donald Trump. And yeah, so Mercante took to X where she posted a photo of a stormtrooper and wrote, "Trump shooter revealed." And then he wrote, "He didn't use VATS." Now, for those of you in the know, you know exactly what both of these things mean. For those of you who aren't in the know, I'll give a quick explanation. These stormtroopers here, in the picture, are the worst shots in the galaxy, according to the Star Wars movies. They're just absolutely horrible. They never hit their mark. You can go up against 400 stormtroopers with a single blaster and a bolt caster like Han Solo and Chewie, and take them all down pretty much without much of an issue. Maybe you'll get winged, you know what I mean? But they're just notoriously known for that. And all in all, this is, you know, it's not the worst thing I've seen on Twitter regarding this, but it's still pretty, you know, it's pretty tasteless, and you'd expect it from someone like Alyssa Mercante. Now, VATS, you didn't use VATS. This is different. VATS is something from the Fallout series, and it's, I forget what it breaks down and stands for, but it allows you to aim for certain parts of the body and gives you like an accuracy meter of like, all right, if you shoot the guy and just go for a shot, you have an 85% chance of hitting him. You got a 45% chance of hitting this limb, a 32% chance of this one, 15% on the head, whatever. You know, different stuff like that. That's what VATS does for you. So, you know. And again, I'll be straight on this one. She's making distasteful jokes at this time, but not really. But I guess she deleted them too, from what I see here, from what Grum's posted. But neither of them is actually condoning the assassination by any stretch of the imagination, but it is mocking it, you know, which is pretty bad. Sean, Lady Devimon, Respecter, Sharker Teeth, whoever the hell that is, or whatever it is, makes the same joke with the stormtrooper, and she's, you know, literally tweeted this. Literally. What is that? These people don't even know how to write anymore. So, yeah, she responded to that. But more recently, Mercante posted the same image of the stormtrooper getting questioned, why did someone report this? I guess people reported it. You know, my mindset is this. You know, let these people show themselves, right? Let them show who they are and what they're all about. There's no need to censor them. There's no need to shut them down. You know, if you want to report, that's on you. That's fine. You know, I've reported some pretty bad stuff. Direct harmful stuff is one thing. Like, you know, if it's something genuinely harmful, yeah, this is more of just some, you know, bad taste joke. But, you know, if you want to report it, you report it. That's cool. Mocking the attempted assassination of Donald J. Trump just shows how low Mercante's character is. However, despite how despicable her behavior is, we should still heed Christ's command to love our enemies. And we can do this by praying for her. Now, I am not a religious man by any stretch of the imagination. God has touched my life, and He saved me from a very bad situation I was in. You know, and like most of our bad situations, it was one I had built myself. And when I say he saved me, the story is it's a direct saving of me. And one day I'm going to share that out here. It's a brutal, it's a weird story. It's kind of brutal, and it's you know, I've shared it with people that are close to me from time to time and people that I believe it would help. But one day I'll share it in its entirety. But I am a believer in God, right? I don't necessarily follow a religion because I tend to not like religion too much. And I'll explain why. You know, I understand that religion is important to a lot of people, and I don't mock it. You know, I was raised Catholic. I don't really practice now. I don't go to any specific denomination or anything like that. And I don't personally need religion in my life, in my opinion. I have God in my life, and I trust in Him, and I trust in the path that's laid out before me, and I have faith in Him and in myself. You know, I do pray, but most of the time I bitch and argue with Him. You know, and people laugh when I say that, but it's true. I'm like, oh my God, the only reason I'm not dead yet is because you don't want to listen to my BS when I finally get up there. You know, and it's, you know, and that's my personal opinion, and it may be a little, you know, people may say it's blasphemous, whatever. You have your relationship with God, I have mine. And it's fine. He made us all, right? He knows what He made when He made me. And He knows I'm kind of a jerk. And, you know, He's probably like, oh, God, yeah, I really don't want to listen to this guy. And the devil ain't going to take him. So, you know, we're going to have to get him up here. A few million years of purgatory and he'll still chill out. But whatever the case may be. You know, but I don't know if I can actually pray for her. I really don't. I am, you know, again, a man of God. And, you know, I get what's being said here. But quite honestly, I don't want to pray for these people. I don't care about these people, you know. Father Hugh Barber O'Prame explains, so love your enemies, pray for those who persecute you. He adds, we have to reach out and take this initiative to love those who are enemies, who have harmed us. Now our Lord, in giving prayer, is the first way of doing this. Free us from any excuses or self-deception, because that's the one thing we can do for someone who's hurt, is pray for them. Pray for their well-being. And while I don't wish harm on people all the time, sometimes I do. I will admit, sometimes I get so angry that I'm like, you know, this guy needs to pay for what he's done. And sometimes I would like to be the hand that makes them pay, but, you know, I realize it's not the way to be. I get that and all that. But yeah. But anyways, it's given here just how close the bullet came to assassinating a former president and leading contender for the White House, and given what would have done to our society and to the world, perhaps it's an appropriate time to contemplate providence, kindness, and repentance more than ever before. What do you make of Mercante's comments? You know, what I make of it is, again, classless, tasteless jokes at this point. You know, she never condoned the violence or anything like that. At least she didn't mock the people who died, you know, the man who died and the other people who got shot. And we're going to talk about that in another video. I've got that one I'm working on. It's going to mainly focus on Destiny. We all know who Destiny is. And I've been putting a lot of thought into this one, whether or not I want to do it. And I just realized, you know, I got to speak my mind. I don't care. You know, so we'll get into that. But there's a second person we're going to talk about today, and it's Smite Ambassador encourages another assassination attempt against President Donald Trump. Now, this is a darker road, right? An ambassador for the third-person multiplayer online battle arena, Smite encouraged a second assassination against Donald Trump, President Donald Trump, after an attempt on his life failed over the weekend. I like the way that part plays, and I'll link to both of these. Calls him properly, President Donald Trump. A former president is always referred to as a president. An assassin attempted to murder President Donald Trump while he was conducting a campaign rally in Butler, Pennsylvania. The assassin failed to kill President Trump, but one of his bullets pierced his ear. I'm hearing now that it was glass from something that it hit. It wasn't the actual bullet, that he was a little further off, but still, if that's either case, it was scary. While the assassin failed to kill President Trump, he succeeded in killing Corey Comparatore, who used his body to shield his wife and daughter who were at the rally with him. The Pennsylvania State Police also reported the assassin wounded David Dutch and James Copenhaver. So Corey here, who was a fireman from my understanding, jumped in front and shielded his family, and he paid the price for it. And God bless that man, because wow, that's amazing, you know. And I have to think, you know, you think about stuff like that, right? Like, let's take this example of today of who was shot, right, at a Trump rally. You got a fireman, a good man, a family man who cares for his people and all that. And then let's go to Kenosha a few years back when Kyle Rittenhouse was being assaulted and defended himself and ended up shooting into the crowd. And he shot a sexual offender and a pedophile. It kind of says a lot about both of these parties and the directions they go, doesn't it? I mean, it really does. It's pretty disgusting. But anyway, as reported by former World of Warcraft team leader Mark Kern, aka Grums, a Smite ambassador named Tempe encouraged a second assassination attempt on President Trump. Whoo-wee! So let's go right to it here. Brand ambassador for Smite, and he tags Smite Games and Tempest Teacup, who is, I guess, the person who did this, encouraged Trump shooter to try again. Now they've taken it down since then, and defends her beliefs that the assassination attempt was faked. When I went to check her page, she already had me pre-blocked prior to this tweet, despite never interacting with her. Yeah, Grums, I think you're on a few lists, my friend. You're gonna need a stealth account, buddy. But yeah, there's her post. If at first you don't succeed, and then this is so staged though, and going to be very effective. And then later on, to be 100% clear, I absolutely believe the target of today's shooting would sacrifice his own supporters to further his candidacy. I think that is the ultimate tragedy behind the Trump grift. He does not care about the people who have made him who he is. You couldn't be further off. I mean, it's crazy what these people think. It's absolute insanity, and it shows you just how much power the mainstream media has, especially over people that have no brain in their head, and they don't have the ability to think for themselves or to think rationally, right? They absolutely don't. This is a man that gave up his wealth to become president and to lead this nation. He gave up. He lost money. He's probably the first politician in 200 years to lose money when he became president. All these other clowns, they go in there and they start cutting their deals and paying each other under the table and making money left and right, so that when they, when they get out and they retire, they're multimillionaires. I mean, look at people like Nancy Pelosi. Look at people like the Obamas and all that. These guys are not making millions of dollars a year. That's not what their paycheck is. They're making that money all on the side, investing in things and all that, insider trading, cutting deals with foreign governments. Like, I can't imagine how much money is being sent back to Joe Biden, the big guy, from Zelensky in the Ukraine, with all these billions of dollars that are going over there. I mean, it is just such a money pit. It's disgusting. It really is. If we could ever end up privy to the information of what these people have done to us, and if we could ever audit this government, and I mean a full-on audit where we see where every penny goes from our tax money, I guarantee you people would be in the streets. There'd be no more party lines. It would just be stringing them up all left and right from every tree with a strong branch. It would be absolute insanity. But yeah, there's her post. If at first you don't succeed, and here's all the other crap. She also posted a thread. Yeah, we already read all that. Now she's locked her account on X after making these posts, because that's what they do. They go out there and they say shit like this, and then they lock down their posts and they lock down their account because, oh my gosh, I'm getting all this blowback and all these people are mad at me and I don't know why. It's just absolutely disgusting. Is she still locked down? Let's see. Oh yeah, here we go. I mean, look at this. This is just another moron, And what does she have in common with the other one? Just a couple of white liberal bitches that have no business being in gaming, politics, or anything else. They. Oh my God. Feminism really did women dirty. It really did. And that's a subject for another day. As noted by Smite developer Titanforge Games, Smite Ambassadors is a program that was launched last year. The company explained in January it includes many of your favorite content creators, previous Olympians, and stream team members, all under NDA. Members of this program have a channel of direct communication to the Titanforge team and have access to in-development game builds to playtest and provide feedback on upcoming changes and content coming to Smite. Well, this is going to give them a good chance there, Titanforge Games, to determine what kind of company are they. Are they a garbage company that's just going to put up with stuff like this left-wing rhetoric and all that? Or do they actually have a backbone? They're going to say, hey, whether or not they agree with what she says, but for the public persona to say, hey, we don't condone that. We wouldn't condone that. if it was the other side that this happened to. Either way, so goodbye, and say goodbye to this bitch and send her on her merry way. Anyway, encouraging one, let alone a second assassination attempt, is despicable and evil. Both Twitch and Smite should seriously consider taking action against this objectively immoral behavior. What do you make of Tempe's comments? And again, I don't think these people should be silenced, right? I think they should be allowed to speak. Should they be financially impacted? Yeah. Sponsors want to pull out, and partners want to pull out, and these companies want to fire them because of what they said, where they're working on, and say, hey, we got to put some distance between us and you because you are nasty. Well, that's fine. That's part of life. I am a firm believer in free speech, and I'm talking 100% free speech. Even the quote-unquote hate speech. If somebody wants to go out there and use words that are not deemed acceptable, I say let them use them, man. Let them pay the price, though, if that's the case. If she loses her partnership with this program or whatever, or her ambassadorship or whatever you want to call it, if Mercante gets fired by that rad Kotaku, all the better, all the better. But let them talk, show how despicable and pathetic they are, and let the world see that. That's what you got to do. Anyway, as always, I'm Cat the Beefy. If you found this video interesting or enjoyable at all, please leave a like on it down below. If you're a libtard, please give it a thumbs down. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and ring that bell for notifications. I will see you guys next time. Until then, peace.